I'm back. Oh yeah. Now I know I said I wasn't going to be doing this again, yet here I am doing this again. And the reason I'm here doing this again when I said I wouldn't be doing this again, yet here I am doing this again, is because I'm building up a whole bike. It's kind of not from scratch because the seat's already on the post and the bars are already on the grips. No, that's the other way around. And the stem is already clamped to the bars. This is not a new frame to me, although it kind of is, yet it kind of isn't, because I got it... When did I buy it? May. It's a Sunday Silvawave in green, because it's kind of like a British Racing green in that it's dark green metallic. There is no official British Racing green. It's just dark green metallic, but it's dark green metallic, and I do love British Racing green, so it's near enough. I was going with this. I bought that frame back in May, built it up, everything was lovely. However, being 42 and still riding, my back's having a bit of a tantrum lately, and I thought maybe, just maybe, building up a longer frame, which is the frame I was riding previously to that Sunday, this Hoffman Taj having a 21-inch top tube, the Sunday is 20.75. This might help. It hasn't helped at all. And seeing as I spent the money on that brand new frame, which we all know the price of these days, I thought, well, I better ride it. Building that bugger back up. Let's crack on with a bike build. First thing, of course, to do when you take a frame apart or a bike apart to change frames, clean all your bearings. Don't use any kind of penetrant spray with any kind of degreaser to give them a quick psh over, because that will get past the seals, it will flush out the grease from your bearings, and your bearings will go kabang very fucking quickly. Just wipe them off with a bit of kitchen roll. It's a bit of disclaimer as well, there will be swearing, and there'll be some things I do in this video which might not actually be technically the right way to do it, but it is a way to do it, and it's the way I'm going to do it. So just clean off all your parts, get all the old grease and dirt and crud off them. Let's have a look-see of what exactly I've got on the bench. It was pretty busy back there, because I've got like a Welsh dresser in here now, since the last time you probably saw me, with all like wood planes and woodworking tools and other things on there. This is my new sort of workbench, which I'm not going to go into that right now. It's not the best, but it'll do. It's certainly useful for putting bikes together, because you don't have to do anything really with it other than put things on it. So it's not bad for that. The first thing I'm going to do is wang the seat in. I've got a selection of Allen keys and spanners and pliers and other things. Now this seat clamp seems to be binding a bit. Built-in seat clamp with the frame. I've very cleverly put the 4mm, or is it 6mm? I forget. I think it's 6 on this. It is. I'm just going to take the nut and bolt out of the actual seat clamp itself. I'm going to give it a little pry apart with a screwdriver. Yeah, that's alright by there. I'm not worried too much about seat height. I don't get too fussy over it. I mean, I don't like it all the way slammed. I don't like it all the way, you know, up my bum either. It's just, that's not for me. Hey. Right, that's, hey, again. That looks about somewhere relatively in line with the top tube. Start nipping that up now, and I'll just tighten it, and the seat is where it is, and that will be the end of that. Next up, forks. Bit of lithium, it's not lithium grease, is it? Well, it's multi-purpose grease. Just, you don't need a lot. I've managed to scoop out absolutely loads on my finger here. You don't need a great deal. Rose grease is the best, the red stuff. I haven't got any though, so I'm not using it for that reason. Just stick a bit in where your headset goes. Get your finger right in there and give it a good spin round if you want. Have some tissue around just to wipe the most of the grease off your fingers as you go, because that will help. Before you put your forks in, just stick a bit of grease, you don't need lots again, on the bottom race, or where the bearing sits on your forks. It can only help, it's not going to do any harm if it is there. It can possibly do harm if it isn't there though. Chuck a bit on there, gently slide your forks in, get your headset top bearing in there, and the top race, don't forget the top race, that's very important, because that'll help everything stabilise and stop it from moving around when you tighten down your top cup. That'll stabilise everything and stop it from moving around when you tighten down your top cap on your forks. That's what keeps your headset all nice in line, is those races keeping the bearings in line. Now what I want to do next, believe it or not, is I'm actually taking all this apart because I quite want the, where have I put my bars? I like the idea of my steer tube and my stem being right flush like that with the top of the headset. So I might actually cut my steer tube down. Like I said earlier, maybe not the right way to do it, but it is a way to do it. I'm going to go down about 5 or 6 mil, lop it off with a hacksaw. Not going to show you that because, yeah, not really the right way to do it. It's just the way I am doing it. That is my steer tube now cut down. If you have bought yourself a brand new set of forks, do not cut your steer tube down. I advise against it. If they have any warranty or guarantee, as some forks do, that will void it. You don't have anything to back you up. If they break, then you won't get another set if you've cut the steer tube down. These were second hand 4 years ago, so I probably should get some new ones. That's the forks back in. Take the grease off that's inevitably ended up at the top of the steer tube. Stem going back on for the second time for the last time. If I can line it up. Oh, straight in the hole. Yeah, I think that looks good. Right, bottom bracket. Now, there are certain tools for getting the bottom bracket, bearings, etc. into your frame. Unfortunately, I don't have any of those. But what I do have is one of these. This was given to me by my mate Jack. Very kindly gave this to me. What is it? Record. Big old record machinist vice. This thing is going to have absolutely no problems whatsoever in any way, shape or form. Gently and easily pressing the bearing on the left hand side to start with into my bottom bracket. Just giving it a dust off there just to get any sort of loose crud and stop it from getting in the bearing. First off, we're going to need a couple of little bits of wood just to put between the jaws of the vice, the frame and the bearing. Do not press the bearing in on the steel jaws of the vice because you could damage your frame, you could damage your bearing. Use little bits of scrap wood if you've got them, or plastic, anything that's going to stand up to this pressure. Not that there's going to be a lot of it to get that bearing started to be pushed into the frame. With my dirty greasy hands, I'm going to grab hold of the bike. I've already cleaned all that out, so I know it's all good. Smear a nice bit of general purpose grease. Don't you fall over. Yeah, nice bit of general purpose grease in there, like that. I'll put some in the other side when I get to it. Well, this is going to get tricky now. Gauge roughly how much clarence I'm going to need in the jaws of the vice to get this all going. So I'll place the bearing there, like that, give it a little push so it starts to seat, and get one piece of wood behind it. Again, maybe not the right way to do this, but a way to do this. Try and open the jaws of the vice just enough to get the other piece of wood in there so it's pressing against your bottom bracket. And then start closing the jaws of your vice, keeping the frame and the bottom bracket as central to the vice jaws in that plane as possible. Hold on to your bike. I haven't actually bolted this vice down in any way whatsoever, of course. There we go. Let's start to go in now. Like that. I'll get you in close. So where I've got the bearing starting to go in on the left hand side, because I'm going to put the right hand one in second. Between the two pieces of, well, it's ash if you want to get fussy over the species of wood, in the vice. And as I tighten the jaw up, it'll press that bearing in, which is what I want. Of course, it helps with the vice is actually bolted down. Right, and that's as far as it's going to go because the bits of wood are level with either side of the bottom bracket tube. And there is one bearing pressed in. Again, a disclaimer. Not the right way to do it, but a way to do it. Right, what I'm gonna do now is put all the cranks together and the bottom bracket. That's probably way too much grease. Oh well. Stick a big one in there. Oh, don't be a bitch now. Come on. We might need a little bit of encouragement. Yeah, maybe I don't need the second spacer in there because the bearing itself has to sit against the inner shoulder in the bottom bracket tube for it to be stable, so there's no playing it side to side, because bearings can take load up and down. Where's the bearing? They can take load up and down that way, not that way, not side to side. It has to be vertical, not horizontal. So you don't want any play in your bottom bracket or you will destroy your bearings pretty bloody quickly. So I'm just going to take that one out because it would seem I don't need it. But hey, what I'm going to do now though is push that back in, place the bearing on top. I have of course cleaned all these parts first, and then we're going to do a simple thing of starting to wind the bearing in using the centre bolt going into the crank arm as the pressure to push the bearing in, because you can get a couple of tons worth of force, believe it or not, through these threads. That has got the top hat washer there, isn't it? Yes. I have to get the cranks perfectly aligned right now, but I'm going to. Yeah, that's good. I have freshly greased this bolt as well, cleaned all the old grease off. Bit of fresh grease on there. These are Odyssey something or other 3-piece cranks. I'm using the bolt to gently nudge that in. What you could do now, which I'm probably going to do instead, is actually take the crank arm off. So undo the bolt just to stop me from putting too much pressure on that bolt. Take the bolt back out. Take the crank arm off if you can. If you can't get the crank arm off, this is the wrong way to do it. Very wrong way to do it. Hammer. Don't do that. Use a wooden mallet or a block of wood between your hammer and your crank bolt. Right, that should come off now. There we go, like that. That's left the top hat washer on there. Definitely need that in the centre of your chain ring. Otherwise it will not sit on the crank spindle properly. Just take that little washer off there. Now what I'm going to do now is definitely the wrong way to do it. Everyone look away. Now that bearing is seated in there, see how much clearance I've got. A little technical adjustment like that. That's a 5mm nearest point. What I'm going to do is just put this crank arm on and see how much, because I don't actually know where the other dust cover is for the drive side for this bottom bracket. I have misplaced it. I don't know where it is, so I'm going to put the crank arm on, wind the bolt in. Right, how much clearance have I got here, Clarence? About the same. That's fine, that's good. Yep, about the same amount of clearance either side. That bolt right the way up. There we go, like that. That's not getting any tighter. Cranks are spinning lovely. That means that the bearings aren't binding up at all, so that spacer in the middle, the long spacer in the middle of the bottom bracket, is the perfect length. Front wheel next, I think. It's going to be a good idea. I know which side goes where, because one side has got a nice bit of wear on the hub guard and the other hasn't. I haven't actually done any opposite smiths on this one yet. For some strange reason I haven't done that. I don't know why. Love a good opposite smith, me. Get in there, you absolute bastard. 17mm of course, like everything is these days. I've lost the little bolt thing that goes on this Odyssey M-peg, which are all steel because steel is real. Did have a kind of a moment of weakness the other night, thinking, well, last night actually, thinking to myself, should I get some plastic pegs? And then kind of looked at the price and went, you know what, I don't need plastic pegs. I'm not paying 23 quid a peg. Sorry. I know that makes me sound old and tight, but there we are. Right, this isn't going to be the best angle, unfortunately, for showing you how the back wheel's going to go on, but it is an angle. And that's the one you're going to get. The front wheel's going to go down, so the chain's got to go that way. And you want the bigger part of the link on your half link chain to be facing the way you're pedalling. So this is the correct way for it to go on. Let's just make sure I actually thread it through the frame first. And together there. Pair of pliers that I always tend to put the pin in so far with a pair of pliers first before then using a chain tool to get the chain together the rest of the way. And then just be careful making sure your fish plates are all nicely lined up. That's what they're called. And you're not going to end up forcing the pin through a plate, possibly breaking the plate. So just go nice and gentle to start with, and that's it. Chain's back together. Paraffin wax is the one for chains. Don't use like WD-40 and GT85 and stuff. It doesn't last. If you want to do it properly, use paraffin wax. Back wheel going on, and we're nearly there. Let's put it the right way around, shall we? Chain on the actual driver of the cassette, because I currently ride a cassette. And I say I currently ride a cassette because anyone who's met me will know that I changed my mind quite a lot between cassettes and free coasters. At the moment, I'm riding a cassette currently. That could easily change though. Yeah, I need a new chain. That's not tight and that's not really spinning. Wow, yeah. I need a new chain. Final piece of the puzzle. Let's get these stem bolts done up. Line my bars up roughly to the fork as best I can in this dark garage. You definitely can't see enough in. This might be a good opportunity to see if there's anyone who wants certain things looked at in detail, whether it be wheel lacing, truing even. I could purposely make my wheel go all to hell for the sake of a video so I can show you how to true it back up if you want. Would you like to see that? Let me know. I know that I haven't got that many subscribers, I know that. But if that's something you'd like to see, stick a comment down there in the comment box. There we go. Oh, one more thing I wanted to change, my bar ends. There we are. Bike built up. There we go. All built up and looking lovely. That is a good combination of chrome, white wall and green. I say it's a British racing green of sorts because it's dark and metallic and green. Well, there is no official British racing green colour code. There's my MGB. Do you want to see me working on my MGB? Do you want to see content of me doing things on that? Because I'm a kind of a home mechanic in a way. If you want to see that, let me know. Oh, she's a beauty. Going to roll around in the street for a bit and just not do anything in particular because there might be cars coming out. There is always cars coming out of this street. It's very busy. It's weird. Just wish my street was actually flat. No, what the bloody hell is that? Yeah, she looks good. Done, dusted, built, finished. Ready to go for a session tomorrow evening. In Cardiff, no doubt. Probably at the Plaza, that's our usual haunt. Wouldn't mind going back to Pen Twin actually. That's looking good. Oh, fuck me. Actually, I've just realised I've left one of my dust caps in Swansea. Bollocks, I pumped my tyres up before I got out of the car. I got out of the car in Swansea yesterday. Got little rubber duck valve covers, dust caps. And I just realised that I've left one of mine behind in Swansea. Oh, she is going to kill me. They were a birthday present off Morgan. Oh fuck. Luckily I've got them on my GT so I can pinch one off that. Better tell her. Don't keep secrets in a relationship. It doesn't work. Thanks for watching. Hopefully this has been entertaining in some manner. See you all again soon.